The Fernández appointment has created an explosion of criticism. Senior editor Jonathan Liedl of the National Catholic Register joins us now from Rome to help explain why it's been so controversial. Jonathan, great to have you with us. You just got to Rome, but you've been following this appointment since last weekend. How was the unexpected appointment received? I say that because the previous prefect's 5-year term was over.
It was over, and Archbishop Fernández has been, of course, linked to Pope Francis for a long time. He's been a ghostwriter of his on key documents such as Amoris Laetitiae, the post-apostolic exhortation, or post-synodal exhortation from 2015 on the family. But you're right, Montse, that this was, in a way, kind of shocking and definitely one of Pope Francis's more controversial picks. Archbishop Fernández, up to this point, had kind of operated in the background of the papacy, serving that key role as a theological advisor and a writer. So to bring him into such a prominent position as the prefect of the dicastery of the doctrine of the faith is certainly a bold move by the Pope. A lot of the concern centers around some of the theological views of Archbishop Fernández. He has described himself as more progressive than the Pope on many issues. And he also, when then Cardinal Bergoglio, Pope Francis now, wanted to install him as the rector of the Catholic University of Argentina about 11 years ago, it was actually initially blocked by the Vatican at the time out of concerns over Archbishop Fernández's orthodoxy. So I think, though, as much as this is controversial because of some of the content of Archbishop Fernández's theological thought, it's also a controversial appointment in the way it was made. It was made very unconventionally, actually. A personal letter that had been written by Pope Francis to Archbishop Fernández was published by the Vatican. And in it, Pope Francis talks about how previously the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith had used immoral methods to achieve its ends and had been more about pursuing doctrinal errors instead of promoting theological knowledge. And the Pope was looking to Archbishop Fernández for, quote, certainly something different. So there's been a lot of speculation about what exactly Pope Francis meant by that and what exactly will be in store with Archbishop Fernández as the prefect of the DDF.
Well, some of the context of what might be in store can come from the outrage over a book that Archbishop Fernández wrote 10 years into his priesthood on kissing. What does this book actually cover? There's a lot of kind of myths going around just because of the name of the book.
You're right. I mean, the name it does kind of hit you in the kisser, so to speak. Heal Me With Your Mouth, The Art of Kissing is the name of this book that Archbishop Fernández wrote as a young priest in his early 30s, published in 1995. And really, in his own words, this was a pastoral catechetical tool that he wrote as a way of connecting with young people in his parish at the time, and trying to demonstrate to them, trying to show to them that actually, kissing can be an appropriate way of displaying affection in a relationship before and even during marriage, trying to encourage people to remain chaste. So certainly noble intentions, but I think a lot of the criticism and concern about the book has dealt with some of its content, some poems which are very sensual and somewhat graphic, and people even describing them as verging on erotica. So a lot of questions about the prudence of publishing this book. Archbishop Fernández himself has defended his decision to do that. He said he was a young priest trying to connect with people in his parish, and he said that this book, Heal Me With Your Mouth, should not be looked at as an example of his high-level theological work.
Right. Well, however, this book does pale in comparison to some of the claims over his mishandling of sex abuse cases, a case that ended in the suicide of an accused priest. What can you tell us about this? I know he recently apologized for the way that he handled this, and that has been part of some of the different places that he's come out to clarify his positions and also his handling of certain things on Facebook.
That's right. So as Archbishop of La Plata, some allegations against the diocesan priest there resurfaced after 2018, after Archbishop Fernández became the ordinary of that archdiocese. At the time, the allegations against him are that he didn't sufficiently believe the accusations being made of sexual abuse by a priest. He initially defended himself and said that he believed both the person coming forward with the allegations against the priest, but also needed to respect canonical processes and make sure that the priest was subject to a fair process, even after the priest committed suicide in 2019. But you're right, he has actually just today come out on Twitter, Archbishop Fernández, saying that he would have handled it differently if he could go back in time to 2018 when those allegations first resurfaced. And you're right, Montse, this is significant because he, as the prefect of the doctrine, or the dicastery of the doctrine of the faith, technically accusations of sexual abuse against clergy are handled by the DDF. Now, Pope Francis has made a slight adjustment where those accusations will be handled by almost a sub-office within the dicastery with its own professionals. And something Archbishop Fernández has said in his acceptance of this post is that one of the only reasons he did accept it is because he would not be the one ultimately, in a sense, or at least kind of in the midst of these different accusations of sexual abuse against clergy. He said that he doesn't have the canonical background to excel at that, and initially turned down the position to head the DDF, partially because these issues of sexual abuse allegations against clergy are part of it. But he was assured by the Pope that it wouldn't be his
part of his mandate. Well, really quick, so, we just have a couple of seconds. They call this dicastery La Suprema, the most important. There are rumors that Archbishop Fernández could soon become a cardinal. Are those true? And purely politically, do you think many are worried this could set him up to follow in Pope Benedict's footsteps to become the Pope one day, just as he did under JP2?
Well, I think in terms of Archbishop Fernández becoming Cardinal Fernández, I think that that certainly might be likely. Pope Francis is in the last chapter of his papacy. He's not getting any younger. He's definitely had a lot of health issues. There's a lot of talk about him securing his legacy. However, I think it would be definitely premature to think that somehow him having this role will automatically lead to him or likely lead to him being a pope anytime soon. I think he doesn't have the widespread respect that Joseph Ratzinger did before he became Pope Benedict XVI. And I think also, he's appointed to this role as prefect, but a prefect is only in place so long as the Pope wants him there. So we'll have to see, after Pope Francis does pass, whoever succeeds him, whether he wants to continue with Archbishop Fernández as his prefect of the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith. So we'll have to see.
Well, we certainly pray for the Holy Father's health. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for everything that you do, and enjoy the Eternal City.
Thank you, Montse.